Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Downside Up. We are very pleased that you have deigned to join us for a second round. Before we go round and say hello to these wonderful faces around the screen, one of whose names I haven't updated. Sorry, Paul, I'll get on that as we go round. There's always one thing. There's always something. I'll get on that. But before we do that, please check out our social links. Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Discord, come and be a part of our little corner of the internet where we will do our very best to look after you. Also, check out Twitter. Send me a DM and I will get you a game. It could very well be one of these games. Just send me a DM, get on my radar, and we'll do our very best to accommodate you. Also, YouTube, if you missed last week's episode or if you miss any of this week's episode, you can catch up on the YouTube. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button because it really helps us. Similarly, if you haven't hit the follow button already, we'd appreciate that too. There is a tweet. Every 10 retweets, Mackenzie will have some weird arcana occur. So brace for that. We have sponsors. One of them sponsors this show, Mage Hand Press. If you haven't heard of Mage Hand Press and their Feyfolio, welcome. You're about to. Also, check out the Dark Matter expansion for 5e. If you like space and you like D&D, this is the book for you. It's now available in your local game store. Published by Diamond Comics Publishing, so if you go and ask your local nerds, they'll be able to stock it for you. Also, check out the Deck of Many. I have my Deck of Many things with me today, so these are the Deck of Many. You can see these are animated cards. These cards have effects on the game. If you'd like to see those effects, they are donation rewards. So check those out as well. Also, Humblewood, 6 p.m. on Thursdays, you can see us playing through the Humblewood campaign, where Burbs and Deer and Bunny Rabbit people have fun together saving a forest on fire. It's good fun. Lastly, Hero Forge. If you like minis, head over to Hero Forge. You can currently get grayscale minis printed to your exacting specifications. And in the near future, thanks to their recent 6,000% funded $3.1 million Kickstarter, color minis will soon be available, like this little one here. And there'll be more of that coming on the Academy soon, as the show before this one will soon be slotted to show off the prototype color creator as it's in development. Wow! Mackenzie, would you like to introduce everyone?
Yeah, let's go around. Also, we just got a raid, so hi, Encounter Roleplay, what's up?
Encounter Roleplay, welcome in! Thank you so much for the raid!
Hi. Yeah, so I'm Mackenzie Lane Day on Twitter. You can call me Mac. I am an independent TTRPG online content creator. Recently, because, I go to college and now I'm stuck in home because all my classes were canceled. So, I have a poll on Twitter. I might start streaming some stuff too, so I'm gonna pop that link in chat. Please vote and help me decide, because I can't make decisions on my own. But beside that, today, most importantly, I will be your Archfamian Dungeon Master for this game. Yeah, so let's go around and let's meet our wonderful players and who they're playing. So we're gonna start with joining us this week and for the rest of the season, the wonderful Nomadic. Oh, hi.
No, hello. Hi, I'm Gnome, and I'm super excited to be here. I'm going to be playing Zadie, who is a goblin warlock.
I love him. He's amazing. And then let's go pop down to Paul is in123. Is that correct?
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Paul, or at in1123. I am going to be playing... no, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be playing Gilbert. He is also a goblin, but he is a alchemist. And yeah, super excited. Thought a lot about how he gonna be, and pumped up, ready to do this.
I love the Alchemist. It's so much fun.
I was reading this or Binder.
Binder is also really fun. I will say that much. But
it looks so complicated.
Scrat likes to remind me constantly that bombs are considered finesse weapons, which means you can use them as a rogue.
Multi-class sneak attack with a bomb. If that's not the most epic thing, what is?
And they got that sneaky bomb too, so
yep.
That's so beautiful.
All right, and then let's go around to Sarah Jane Atkin 1. Oh, hi.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah Jane, and I'm playing Moria, the Mandrake Druid.
I'm so excited. So excited. And then last but certainly not least, Scratticus, you have already introduced yourself, but who are you playing?
Today I am playing a special cast that I got Mage Hand Press to make for me for the setting because
I was there too.
I see you as part of their writing staff now. Like, if that's not official, maybe it should be Mage Hand Press. Hire her. You heard it here first.
Just
yes.
because you're in chat.
I am that extra person that requested a custom class. I believe I'm a perfectly normal fighter. It's not true though.
Yep. There's a lot of roll tables behind the scenes. This is essentially random roll table, the class. But anything? Does anyone have anything else they want to mention before we get started, or shall we jump right in? We all good? Going once, going twice. Okay, so last time on Downside Up, we met Friday, the completely normal, 100% totally fine fighter, guard person. They woke up in a ruined castle with a couple of other companions who had been transported there by the Feywild. After a bit of mystery and a bit of literal playing with time, they found themselves in a clock tower collapsing, and met a shadowy figure who seems to be what lured them into the Feywild in the first place. They combated a Dusk Dryad, which nearly wiped out the party. Whoopsie on my part. And then, once that had happened, they managed to find a gateway through time again. And for two of them, that gateway meant returning to the place they desired most. Because in this version of the Feywild, time and space are one and the same. For Friday, however, the shadowy figure who seemed to have invited them into the Feywild in the first place has other plans. And last we saw Friday, she was falling into a clearing somewhere with a mechanical clockwork bird who is helpful, question mark. And before we get back to Friday, let's we're going to sort of pan away from that mess and go to a nearby sort of area of the Feywild. It's sort of overgrown. There are bits of cobblestone and these old shacks that look like they were once painted very colorfully, but now are dilapidated and faded under the eternal twilight of the sky. And as we sort of follow through this forest, we find on the ground a elderly goblin, sort of on their side, on his side, sort of blarily waking up. Sadie, what do you look like?
Sadie is an old goblin, as you described. He's kind of got this long, stringy beard. Some bits are braided, some bits are kind of matted, and some have probably twigs and leaves and maybe like a little flower that kind of like blossomed within it. Completely bald though, on the top, except for like a small, almost like halo, to like half halo type around the crown of his head, and it's just pure stark white. Long, kind of wrinkled ears, maybe like even like a little lumpy. He's just got like lumps all over his face, just, you know, a big old schnoz, very angular features. And his clothing is minimal, to say the least, with whatever he probably could have found in the Feywild. So bigger leaves, maybe some old cloth from who knows how long and from where, and it's just kind of like patchworked all together to make a very simple kind of like tunic, and that's about it. And there's also a spaceship. Sorry,
There are people who like to race near my apartment, and they're just like Mume in the middle of the day. But you open your eyes, and the first thing you notice is that, you know, this is still the Feywild. You would recognize that eternal twilight sky where the sun never really rises but never really sets either. You'd recognize that above you, but as you sort of blink, you notice that this isn't quite where you'd went to sleep. It's a pretty normal occurrence for the Feywild, where things just sort of like you go enter in one place and you pop up in another. So it's not necessarily super jarring, but it is not somewhere you're familiar with. And as you open your eyes, you feel this sort of weight on your chest. And as you sit up, you see this mechanical bird about the size of an American football. This mess of clockwork pieces mixed in with wood, and these bright golden eyes, and the symbol on its chest of half a sun on one side and half a moon on the other, and it just sort of looking at you as you wake up. It leans over and like pecks your nose.
Sorry. Maybe.
Oh, you froze for a little. You froze for a
Wow,
little.
you were
Are
frozen.
are you
It
back?
was such
Okay.
a good freeze. It looked
I
like you
was
were
like-
role playing.
You look like you were thinking really hard, and I was just like, the bird pecks you.
Cool. So the last I heard, which is probably perfect for Sadie anyways, is that there's something heavy on my chest and it's a mechanical bird.
Yep, it's a mechanical bird. It looks like a
Okay.
mix of clockwork and wooden pieces. It's got golden eyes, and on the chest is a symbol of half a sun on one side, half a moon on the other.
Aren't you a cute little feller?
Hello.
Hello.
What you are new. What is your name?
I'm not new, but my name is Sadie. What is yours?
I am 12. I think I need your help.
Oh, well, what can I do for you, 12?
As you sit up and you look at this bird, pinned to their chest, and it looks like the paper's kind of been half bitten off, but the bottom half says deputy, and it just kind of keeps glancing over it and goes, my friend needs help, and I think you were sent here to help.
Well, I mean, if they're a friend of yours, then they're a friend of mine. But tell me, what can I do?
Follow. And then this bird lets out a very mechanical ah, and then like flaps and starts heading off through the trees. You can see it like through the mist, this shadow of like this. You can catch the faint glint of the metallic parts of this bird, and then it goes through these iridescent mists. You can see it sort of disappear into the surrounding trees. Do you follow?
Slowly, I'm gonna get up, and you just hear like Sadie's bones just all crack as he's rising and shining.
Oh, God.
Ugh. And then like just maybe a little like little warm up stretches, and then slowly starts following this beady old bird.
The bird does the thing like, when dogs are excited and they run ahead and then they notice you're not following and then they run back and they sit and they wait. And then the minute you get close, they run ahead and then they realize you're not following and then they come back and sit and wait. That's what this bird is doing.
It's totally what's happening right now.
Yeah. And so as you sort of pick your way through the bramble and the brush, we are going to pan over to Friday. Last you remember, you were falling through time. You're face down in the ground. You're muted too.
That was muffled from the dirt. As her head comes up, she'll try and like arrange her dreads again. They're the neat dreads, the twists actually. She's gonna pull them back out of the way. Grey skin, lots of angles. Think like Zarya body type, but wearing a guardsman's uniform, not of this place.
So one of the first things you notice is that your wonderful assistant deputy, the bird, has left. You're not entirely sure. You know they had definitely been pulled through that rend in time with you, but they don't seem to be around. The second thing you notice, and this particularly stands out to you, as you are very prideful of how impeccable your uniform is. There are cobwebs. There is some strand sort of like wrapped around your body. You're not sure how long you were like face down in the dirt in this area, but there's definitely some this sticky webby material just kind of wrapped around your torso and a little bit around your legs. The third thing you notice are two other humanoid figures sort of in this clearing next to you amongst these sort of dead matted leaves and this silvery web-like substance. You see two figures who are also kind of half waking up.
If there's one thing Friday has, it's priorities. She's going to take out of her pack her polish and a rag and spit polish her breastplate clean. There's no room for cobwebs here.
And as you start polishing it and you hear the of the squeaking of the metal, Moria and Gilbert, you kind of sort of blink and come to. You both wake up in this sort of clearing, and there are like with Friday, there is this sort of sticky spiderwebby mess just sort of around your form. It doesn't look like, it's not like you've been fully cocooned a la Frodo in Return of the King, but you've got some spider webs sort of clinging to your legs and your limbs. What do you two look like? I'm not going to put either of you on the spot, so whoever wants to go first can go first. Go ahead and describe what your character looks like as you sort of wake up. Either of you can go. I'm not going to like force any of you to go, so.
Okay, I can go. So my character is a mandrake, and so she doesn't really look too human. Her skin is made of bark, and her hair is made of leaves, and so she is an autumn mandrake. So her hair is very pretty. It has lots of oranges and reds and purples, all decorated through it. And she has these little oaken horns on the top of her head that are kind of swirled with these pretty leaves and some grass. And so she has these nice green eyes that kind of gaze around as she comes to.
Mm-hmm. As you sort of come to, you can feel sort of rustling through your leaves. You can see a couple like stray spiders just sort of and like scuttle off you. This area of the forest, it doesn't match your very autumnal look, that those sort of bright colors that you associate with the autumn season. It's very much dark wood and sort of dead leaves, very much like these cold mists just sort of hovering and sinking into the ground. You know, like you as a native of the Feywild, you know that sometimes the Feywild plays tricks on you, takes you to places you never really planned to go. So it's not, again, like with Fred, it's or with Sadie, it's not necessarily a where the hell am I, but it's definitely still not where you thought you were going to wake up this morning.
Yeah, so she probably will like sit up and look around. She doesn't really care about the spiders because she's kind of used to that. So she'll just kind of look around and see what she can see.
Yeah, and you see this very tall half-orc polishing her breastplate, and Gilbert, what do you look like?
So Gilbert is kind of like wearing leather tunics, like a leather tunic with just like rough clothes, has a kind of battered and beaten up coat over it, and a very musty and ashed up apron. Apron's ripped apart on the bottom. Gilbert's hair is kind of like very unkept, medium length. His tips seem oddly burnt for some reason, as if something exploded in front of his face. He has a bit of scarring all over, but nothing too deep. Is more just like this guy doesn't know how to clean himself. And he's wearing one leather glove, but oddly enough, not wearing a right leather glove. And he would be carrying a pouch and a very uneven backpack that rattles a lot. And as he would probably, if instinctively, as soon as he sees the cobwebs, would start panicking and just start crawling backwards, brushing off every cobwebs as if it's like the most fearful thing he's ever seen in his life, and just screaming, God. Okay, this is.
Roll me a sleight of. Let's see. Let's either do like a dexterity skill. If you have like proficiency in sleight of hand, we can use that. Otherwise, it'll be a straight dex check.
All right, I'll do a sleight of hands.
Okay. As you sort of brush and you brush and skitter back, you can see as you brush, you move those cobwebs. You're able to get them off you. They don't like stick to your hands as you move them, but as you move them, you can see these small little clusters of spiders just start.
Oh
and
yeah,
sort of,
he would
skitter
instantly
away.
panic and just start running whichever direction he can. He would take off the other left-hand glove and just start smacking the floor, trying to get all the little spiders out of just fear, not realizing anything around him. Gah!
Calm, friend. They clean off easily enough.
What is going on?
Great question. Apt question. Exactly the kind of question that I am also wondering.
It appears the forest has moved us again, though that's pretty normal where I come from.
Whoa! What are you?
I am a mandrake. Pleasure to meet you.
I look over to Friday. Is that normal?
I'm perfectly normal, I assure you.
Sorry.
That seems very convincing. I have known creatures like you from where I'm from, but never one quite so coherent or... It's a pleasure. Pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine.
Hi.
Around this time, there is a sort of creaky sort of and you see the silhouette of this bird sort of soar through the mist and perch on a nearby tree. Friday, you will recognize the half-torn piece of paper that says deputy on its chest, and following this bird is the silhouette and soon the full figure of a elderly goblin. I almost said gnome because gnome they're playing him, but elderly goblin sort of coming through after this bird.
The script here.
It's fine. And Sadie, as you sort of follow 12 into this clearing, you see the autumnal mandrake, another goblin, slightly more singed around the edges, and a very tall half-orc woman with a now shiny breastplate and kind of cobwebs on other parts of her body. And you can see the bird sort of goes to perch on a nearby branch, and then seeing that Friday is awake, goes and swoops down and lands on Friday's shoulder.
Hello, 12. How are you doing?
I found you found others. I found friend for friend to help.
Good. Capital. Well done. I've also found friends. Seems we've both found a goblin, but I also found a mandrake. And by found, I mean I woke up.
That definition of found does not compute.
I don't understand.
I found friends.
Same. Let's go from there.
Sadie, this is my friend. This is who needs your help.
Oh, good day. Hello.
Hello, Sadie. Did I hear that
Yes,
correctly?
I'm Sadie. Are you Sadie too?
No, I'm Frida Florag, but my friends call me Friday.
Ooh, pleasure to meet you, Friday.
And as Sadie waves their hand at you, Friday, you catch this on his wrist is very similar to what's on your wrist, a watch with the stained glass face. Unlike yours, though, where you can see from how the light is catching it, the stained glass face of his is same sort of dullish color, but instead of that black iron band, it is gold. And you also both notice on all the numbers on the watch are missing except for the number 12, which is now there, and that section of the clock. Yep, on the watch.
Both watches.
On both watches.
Wonderful.
And that section of the clock is slightly brighter in terms of the stained glass.
Well, friends, I guess since you've all joined me, you'll be here to help me with my quest. I have an important meeting to get to at some point. I hope time isn't real here. And to do that, I need to fix time, apparently. I don't know exactly what that means, but I did find a big clock with lots of broken numbers. And my watch seems to correspond to that, and 12 is one of the numbers.
Sorry, I just saw you yeet the bird up. And it broke me. It broke me so bad.
I've given him a badge.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Did you say you have to fix time?
Fix time. Fix
What
time.
the?
Time is broken here.
Gilbert would just like confusingly look at the mechanical bird and be like, "Whoa, that is so cool," and then start just poking at the bird.
Ow, 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 ow,
How does this
ow,
work?
Ow, ow, ow.
Is there a
I am
mechanical gift?
alive. I am. Ow, stop.
Sorry, how do you? And then I spread the wings open. How do you?
Ow!
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Reactive. Interesting.
I am alive. Ow, 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 ow.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
not an owl.
If birds, this is gonna become a common phrase. If birds could have these like squinty-eyed, like confused look of really, dude, that's what's on 12's face right now.
Wow, this place is interesting. So yeah, quest, right? Time. How does that work? What do we have to do?
Time is broken here. Time is place. Time is space. You fix time. You go home.
Do any of you happen to have a hobby in watchmaking? Or timepieces?
Gilbert will start just rummaging through his backpack, and just like start laying out bottles of just and weird chemicals and liquids. Nope, that's not it. That's liquid. No, that's gonna blow up. No, and then this. No, that. I don't think so. I could possibly blow up a clock, but I don't think I can fix a clock.
I don't think that's going to be much help.
I might have some glue. Glue might work. Starts rummaging through. Just
12 for a moment sort of hops off after being very violently manhandled, kind of goes to the opposite side of the circle and sort of, if you'll let him, nestles on Moria's shoulder and just sort of kind of is looking at you now.
Yes, Mario will kind of look back at it though, because it's clearly mechanical and it's not really something of nature. And so
Actually, roll me a nature check because you are from the Feywild.
okay. That's a 17.
Okay. On a 17, being from the Feywild, so for us as players, and we normally look at things in terms of like it's mechanical versus nature. However, in the Feywild, that binary doesn't necessarily exist. Things that are made of metal and things that seem mechanical will, like, because of the magic of the Feywild and how chaotic it is, that too grows naturally. You have encountered before ironwood trees that seem to be made out of metal yet grow like normal rate of trees, and you are actually familiar with kinds of creatures like this, where they are essentially fey spirits who have taken a form kind of grown off of the land. They look a little bit, they're clockwork, but also mixed with natural. So that's where there's bits of wood and you can see like gold and like fire in its eyes. And it's this interesting mix of fey and mechanical, but you know it is native to the Feywild.
Okay. So at that point, I'll just kind of look at it and be like, welcome, Fey Spirit.
Hi, you are from here, but not here. How did you get here?
Welcome,
That is a question I
Vanaheim
would've
Games.
asked
Thank you
you.
so much for the raid!
Yes,
check
Nora,
out
what were
content
you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna be like, I do not know how I came here. I was hoping someone other than me would know.
And so then you see 12 sort of look around and sort of study, and then and I think everyone will kind of notice this because 12 is not entirely subtle because they are a very loud bird. They sort of let out a very mechanical and you can see their head turn and lock onto something, and they sort of launch off down through the trees. They look like trees. They look like trees. They're trees probably.
It's late. Man, I like gestures toward Friday. Your mechanical bird is concerning? No, maybe.
Quite possibly. Last time it helped us fix the 12. I'm not sure whether 12 will be of further assistance, having fixed the 12. But,
Ow, my head.
Yes.
He starts just grabbing all the bottles, just shoving them very not safely back into the bag. Should we go grab said flying bird to fix clock with 12 number? I don't understand anything that's happening, but I don't really want to be alone, so.
I think Moria will kind of start following the bird instinctively.
So Moria, you start walking down, following 12. As you walk, you can tell, yeah, these are trees, but there is some semblance of a path here. It wasn't where you had landed. You had landed in a sort of a clearing that was sort of squelchy with mud and sort of like damp leaves. But as you walk, you can sort of see like the ruins of a cobblestone path sort of emerging, winding through these very dark, almost unnaturally dark and unnaturally curling trees. And you know, as weird as the foliage in the Feywild is, you know that like trees this dark and sort of hunched over and just sort of brimming with malice. There is something wrong here.
Okay, so I think as she kind of walks by, she'd kind of like brush and touch one of the trees and just kind of look a little concerned, but keep following the bird.
Okay. What did the rest of you do before we continue on with what Moria sees through as they touch the trees and keep going?
I think Sadie is helping Gilbert pick up all of their gear. Yeah, but probably like inspecting some of it because it's all like explodey stuffs, right?
It's very who knows?
Yeah, right. What is this? Ooh, shiny.
Don't please don't shake that, please.
Oh, okay. And then picks up the next one and just starts shaking it too because like swirls or something. It's not very helpful, but helpful.
Oh God, it's gonna blow up. I'm gonna go, and then Gilbert's gonna like thank politely, pack up everything, and just start walking towards Moria, thinking like, okay, it's a giant tree going into a forest. That should be right, I think.
So Friday and Sadie, you are the only two left in this sort of clearing as you see the silhouette of a very singed goblin go through the mist.
Is this normal for you?
Well, a few hours ago I met two rather strange individuals. I think one of them might have been evil. They helped me fix the clock. I guess these fellow companions will too, as I hope you will.
But I am a friend of the bird now, so we're friends too. I will help you fix this clock.
Where do you hail from, friend?
It's off the tip of my tongue. I can't quite remember. Maybe tomorrow. Ask me again then.
I see. I'm not familiar with, overly familiar with goblin, it'd be rude to ask. Let's move on.
Okay, we'll go find our new friends and fix the clock.
Friday is going to keep a watchful eye on Sadie, suddenly concerned for their safety.
Okay, as you all sort of start wandering through these trees, let's have everyone make me a perception check. You can use your passive perception if you'd like, or if you want to keep a more active eye out, you can roll for it. It's up to you.
Oh, we're gonna just go with straight 10. We'll go with passive. I don't think Sadie pays much attention to much.
I got 4.
Okay.
I don't
Yes,
know what my
Paul.
passive. I don't know what my passive perception. No, it's a Okay, you know what? Now I'm gonna go with the 4.
Okay. Mario, what about you?
I've got 12.
Okay.
Gilbert's just fixated on Moria in just awe. Just wow,
It's
you're
a
so cool.
tree.
So
It's a
moving
tree.
This is so cool.
Friday, how about you?
23.
Did you roll?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. It showed up. Hi. Now there it is.
Well, that
Thank
was
you, Lenny.
wild. It showed up after you called it. It's like you predict the future.
I know it was.
Time isn't
weird.
real here.
Time really isn't real. Oh God. So the goblins. So for Sadie and for Gilbert, as you're walking, there's just not necessarily a lot going on, but there's a lot that kind of just catches your interest as you walk around. Gilbert, you're like you find Moria and like the way the nature itself seems to come alive, and even how alive 12 seemed to feel, even though they look like they were made out of mechanical parts. And as you sort of walk and you look at these trees, you can see that they're not entirely made of wood. They seem to be some sort of like veined with this metallic substance, not necessarily iron, but this sort of dull brassy color. And as you sort of touch them, you hear like faintly this sort of discordant noise. It seems irregular at times, sort of, and it just sort of hiccups, and that sort of rings in your ear as you walk, and it's hard to sort of pay attention as you. And Sadie, you too, you can hear that, and sort of like that discordant clicking and tick-tocking in the background as you walk. As you too see these strange trees, sort of this dark, unnaturally dark wood mixed with this dull brassy material. And as you pass by one of these trees, you see embedded in the trunk, sort of half in the trunk, half along one of the branches, is like a very twisted clock. It's very much like this, the Salvador Dali painting with all the melty clocks. It's like that, but like a part of this tree, as if it's growing out of this tree like a tumor. Moria, as you go, you at the very least, at the very front, are able to keep an eye on 12, and as you walk, you notice as you sort of keep going along that these cobblestones are kind of breaking, and you can see some parts of the trees sort of petering out to more flat lands, grass. They're not necessarily like complete plains though, because there are still structures sort of towering, looming over you in the mist, these dilapidated booths or buildings, and these like very long arching spirally structures almost made of metal, and those seem to like overtake the trees after a while, and it's almost as if like it's this abandoned town or abandoned place that has been like overlaid on top of this forest. And Friday, as you walk and you start noticing, and you keep a watchful eye out not only for 12 but on the rest of your party, you notice a different kind of clicking, a scuttling almost. And as you follow the rest of the party, as you look behind you, you can see two sort of squat, eight-legged shadows kind of hunched in some of the tree branches. Very, very disjointed limbs and this sort of clicking of pincers. And you can see one sort of jump from a tree over your head and then land in a tree next to you, or not next to you, but across the path. And again, that sound of pincers clicking.
Ah, what a lackadaisical stroll! I'm going to quickly pace towards Moria, believing her to be the least likely to panic.
You do that.
Moria, there are strange creatures in the trees watching us.
There are always strange creatures around watching us. You'll
Wait,
have
who's
to be
watching
more
us?
specific.
Did you say eight-legged or three-legged?
8.
8. Good. Possibly arachnids?
I'm sorry, what?
That does not sound good.
They tick-tock, like most of the kids these days.
God damn it! I have regrets! No! Gilbert, you have disadvantage on all your throws this session. I'm kidding, I would never do that.
I would accept it.
No, I'm not As Friday points out, these creatures more, you can kind of follow their like very subtle gesture, and you two see these sort of disjointed 8-legged figures kind of in the just sort of in the trees. They don't seem to be nestled comfortably in the branches, but they seem that it doesn't look like they're unsteady either. You can see these crooked legs are sort of bending at weird angles, and you too can hear amidst the tick-tocking of the rest of the trees the of pincers kind of clicking.
Are they doing anything that looks like they're gonna like attack us or anything, or are they just watching us right now?
I think roll me a nature or an insight.
Okay.
Or survival. Any of those.
Okay. That is the 17.
17. Okay. They don't look like they are definitely following you. You can tell the way they're positioned and sort of how they're very intently focused on you. That's very much a following sort of stance that these creatures take. They're very much stalking, like stalking their prey, but it doesn't seem like they have necessarily made a move to attack. You can guess based on your knowledge of spiders and insects in general. They're not necessarily active hunters. They're not like carnivores where they like chase down their prey actively, but should they see an opportune moment, they might trip you up.
Okay. I would kind of turn to Friday and be like, we should be ready. Shall we tell the others?
I think one's already heard. Spiders in the trees. Shadow spiders, TikTok.
I would instantly grab onto Moria's leg. Oh god, I don't like spiders.
Gilbert, roll me a perception check.
Hey, 19.
Okay. As you say, oh god, I don't like spiders, you look down at your legs and you see this cluster of like 5 spiders kind of climbing up your leg, and you can see they're starting to like, there's like, you can see that webbing again sort of like creeping up your leg, and it seems like these tiny spiders are trying their best to like wrap your legs and like at Walker style trip you, but they're not super successful, especially with that perception. You're able to notice them early enough.
Okay, I would instantly let go of Moria's leg and then just start rampaging, like just like running in like a little like a child tantruming, you know, just like because he didn't get the toy, just doing that in like a small circle, just like oh my god, god, and then just like not really aware of my surrounding and just kind of bashing my arms around.
Okay, so the rest of you see a very loud, very panicked goblin start running around and making a very loud, very panicked ruckus.
I feel like you're focusing a lot on the loud, so I may have screwed
in a
up. I'm sorry,
forest
team.
where you know there are things following you.
I'm going to draw my halberd.
I'm going to continue kicking spiders off.
Sadie's just like, just strangely calm. Like, this just feels so normal. Like, the chaos is just typical in Sadie's world, and he'll just kind of like come up to his cousin Goblin and rest a hand on your shoulder and just kind of like hold you in place. It's quite all right. There's no need to be afraid. There's about 100 million other things that'll probably eat you, but not these ones. I'm sure these are fine. And just kind of like pats you on the back and starts walking up to the rest of the others.
Gilbert's green toned skin slowly turns paler and paler, and just kind of just takes off his boots and just picks them up and just like bashes them on the floor.
Oh yeah, like 3 spiders kind of tumble out like.
Oh god, I hate this place. And then immediately put the boots back on and just don't leave me, and then just run.
Okay.
Towards the group.
So, quick question. What languages do you all speak?
I believe I speak Goblin, go figure, and Common.
Okay.
Gabo and Primordial.
Gabo and Primordial and Common, I'm assuming.
Mixed baggage on the Common.
Imagine.
It's more like Yiddish at this point, really.
Moria, what languages do you speak?
I speak common and deep speech.
Deep speech.
What
Okay.
was that? That's cool.
I don't know. It just sounded cool, so I picked it.
It is cool.
I speak Common, Elvish, Orc, and Sylvan.
Okay. So, I didn't need to ask you though, because hey, last time we had a wild magic search, but it didn't come into play, so we're gonna play it now. Friday, you understand, for the next hour, you understand all the languages. All of them. And because of that, you and Moria, because these spiders speak deep speech,
Charles.
you can hear among the clicking as they're sort of watching. You can hear like it makes sense to you. Moria, this makes sense because you naturally speak deep speech, so this is sort of not normal, but it doesn't catch you off guard. Friday, to you, you shouldn't understand this. You know this shouldn't make sense to you, and yet somehow amidst the clicking, it becomes words and comprehensible, and you hear one of these creatures sort of in the trees just go, "Are these the ones they were looking for?" And then the other one goes, "Yes, or why wouldn't they be?"
I
No one
think
else hears this.
at this point, she's gonna draw a spear and just kind of continue like walking calmly, but just kind of more on the ready than before.
Can't believe it. I'm starting to understand TikTok.
I swear to God.
I would try to catch up to Sadie and go, are you familiar with this area?
I'm pretty familiar with most areas.
They're pulling their weapons out. Does that mean danger? Like, what's happening?
My boy, there is danger everywhere here. I mean, if you feel safer pulling a weapon out, by all means, I'm not going to stop you, but the Feywild has this way of balance, and with all of the bad that's out there that will definitely positively eat you, there is also good that may come and help you not get eaten. I've had that happen several times, so I don't really feel the need for a weapon. And as he's saying that, though, like, he has this cane, right? And it's not really a cane. It's stat-wise, mechanically, it's an Ikawa. So it's just like this 3-foot, pole with like another foot of a blade that's just like carved stone or whatever. Who knows where he got it from? It's definitely probably from the Feywild. But it's very much a weapon. He's just using it as a cane.
So if you, as Sadie's tapping on, Gilbert's eye as he's being given this speech would just like slowly drift towards the blade and be like, right, okay, I'm just gonna, and then he just pulls out a dagger.
I was gonna say, Sadie, did you want to roll a history check to see if you are familiar with this area, or did you just want to be senile?
I feel like a roll would be worth it, because I feel like trusting the dice, whom hate me so much, just dice hate me. Let's let the senility flow through the chaos that is the dice.
Let the senility flow.
Wow, I was gonna click on Roll20 or D&D Beyond. That's not where I was trying to roll that. Ooh, history. Great, a 7. Definitely, absolutely knows this area.
Yep. Oh yeah, you know this area. You were here like
at least 3 days ago.
You took a good summer vacation here once. It was like really nice. I don't remember it being like this dark and shadowy, but like you do remember there was like a hammock. And there were birds. They didn't look like smoke, but there were birds. It was like a really nice, like, vacation spot. Really magical.
That rock looks really familiar.
That rock?
That one in particular.
And then I say that rock again and point to a different rock. That rock?
Oh, yeah, I remember
The second rock
very
you
clearly.
points to moves.
Oh, God, what? I immediately put the dagger away and I pull out what seems like a tiny spherical orb that seems to be made out of metal and has a little bit of a wax fuse on it, and just clench it close to my chest.
And you see this sort of what you thought was a rock in the mist, just sort of, and these legs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all disjointed, sort of lift its body off the ground, and you can see what you thought was a rock sitting next to it moves in tandem with the abdomen, and you can see sort of a bunch of eyes, these pale white fiery blank orbs, just sort of and narrow, and that of pincers clicking.
That's definitely not a rock.
Moria, if I may, am I right in thinking you're a little more familiar with this place than perhaps everyone except the old goblin?
It would seem so, yes.
Perhaps you could direct our alarm. I notice you've drawn a spear, which makes me feel better about drawing my halberd. On a scale of 1 to 10, how alert should we be right now?
Probably a 9.
You're very calm as you say that.
Thank you. I'm trying really hard.
Oh, God.
And above you in the trees, you hear, "Should we go now?" And then a second voice.
Now, they will reach the center soon. Just keep hurting them.
Moria will just kind of look over and just go, "To the center we go," and just keep trouncing along.
Where is the center? I follow Moria, lost.
Where are you going? Don't leave me. And I would just run behind Moria as well.
As you walk, everyone make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
What?
Everyone make me dexterity saving throws.
At the what?
My specialty.
yeah, 16.
I got a 19.
19?
Hey, the 15's not bad, better than I
I
thought.
know. Okay. So as you sort of keep walking along this path, or sort of, speed walking now a little, as now all of you kind of notice these bright eyes and these disjointed shadows sort of all watching you from these trees amidst this disjointed sort of of the forest around you. You can see the trees sort of petering out, and yet the shadows still seem to be growing. There aren't as many trees, but there is still something sort of obscuring your view. The rest of you manage to avoid this, but Sadie, as you're sort of looking around, you sort of trip and you pass through one of these shadowy areas, and you feel this sort of sticky, clingy substance just sort of wrap around your mouth and your head and your arms as you walk right through a spider web, and you can feel that like pull and stickiness as you walk between these two trees.
I think I found a honey pot.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. And then Gilbert would hopefully see that, and kind of like scarily walk towards Sadie.
It's in my
Okay.
beard.
Ooh.
I believe a 10 does not hit you, Sadie, right?
Nope.
Thank
Thankfully.
Thank goodness they hit Sadie.
Thank goodness.
You feel as you walk through this thing there, and Gilbert, as you're watching, as they walk through this, there's that shower of like these spiders just sort of, and they seem to be like scuttering all over Sadie's body. They seem to be trying to like attack for breaking through their web, but they aren't able to actually land any damage. And you could see these spiders just sort of like keep scuttering all, and you can see a couple like up their shoulder, through their beard, around one of their legs.
You got this, right? Like, do you need me to really do anything?
Is Sadie like grappled or
Nope.
free to
It
move?
was
Okay.
You're free to move. It's just more of you did walk through a web, and so that did expose you to a possible attack, which missed anyway, so it was fine.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, not Sadie's free. He's like, oh no, I'm fine. This is that's just like a shower, and I definitely need a shower, and then just start walking back on path with the rest of everybody.
Oh, weird goblin. And I would just run.
Above you, the two who understand deep speech can hear,
That one smells really bad. Can we eat him? No. She said she wanted all of them, so we have to listen.
Can you understand them?
You're talking to me.
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Turning to the goblins. Can you understand them?
Who?
Good.
Was it a joke?
That's funny.
Ah.
Huh.
Bless you, Sarah Jane.
bless.
That got me a tear. Okay.
Oh god. I don't do this often, but Sarah Jane, you could take a DM inspiration for that. That was really good. So you have a
Thank
D10
you.
you can roll and add to any D20 roll.
Okay, perfect. Yay!
That got me really good. So, yeah. So as you keep walking, do you do anything as you sort of you hear this and you can sort of see these spiders and these webs sort of keep stringing through the gnarled trees around you.
You said we're getting to a kind of clearing, right?
Yeah. So as you sort of you notice the trees are starting to peter out, and instead you find a lot more what looks like dilapidated boots, almost like broken buildings. There are like street signs that are like swinging half on their chains as you're walking along this sort of very battered, overgrown cobblestone path. You can see to your left and your right they look like carnival booths, but like their roofs are caved in and their tarps are kind of flapping very dully in the wind. And as you keep walking, you can see these trees sort of lining the edges of this fair-esque area, and these cobblestones start to become almost a little bit more put together. And you can see different avenues sort of branching off. It's still very abandoned and very, very quiet. And really the only things you can hear is this faint squeak of metal and the clicking of both this disjointed time that seems to be permeating this area and the pincers of the spiders.
Okay. At this point, since she could kind of hear that, she'll probably stop now and just turn around and kind of wait for everyone to catch up.
So we are at a clearing now? Is that what you were saying?
It's more like as you're walking along this path and you're trying to follow 12 through this forest, the trees sort of if you've been to like a Ren fair and you know like there's the fair but then there's like trees around it.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of what this looks like, where there's like as you start walking you reach a clearing and the trees peter out, but there's still like these shadowy structures around. It's like these sort of dilapidated booths and buildings with boarded up windows, and you can see 12 just sort of waiting for you perched on like a street sign, just sort of there.
I would just go up to Moria and just kind of like, again, still clenching onto that spherical object and just kind of eyeing and darting everywhere.
Roll me a perception or investigation check.
I swear if there's more spiders. Wait, I'm sorry, what was that? Roll a what?
Perception or investigation, whichever you would prefer.
Perception. I'm gonna do investigation. 17.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you notice maybe it's your paranoia, or maybe it's something, maybe there's something actually there, but as you kind of are looking around this area, you can see you're very aware of like those shadows of boulders now, because you saw that one boulder turn into or become a spider. And as you're sort of looking around at some of these booths, you can see sort of these dilapidated like games, these like bottles that are like cracked. You can see them sort of shift and move and sort of again like get that very hunched, disjointed look, and those like like that green glass of the bottle just sort of flicker with life as more eyes kind of follow you as you walk.
Moria, was it?
Yes.
I don't. I think there's more of very weird tick-tocky thingies. Why are we here? What are we doing?
I thought we were following the bird.
Oh, right.
Hello, hello, hello.
And it's just sort of rocking on this sign.
Right, bird. There's a lot of those little things creeping around. I'm scared.
Undoubtedly, there are probably more.
That wasn't comforting.
There are a lot of things in the track.
Why is everybody so calm about this?
I'm not calm.
I am a bird.
Okay. Well, we found your bird. What are we supposed to do with it now?
I don't know. Mori will kind of look at the bird like questioningly.
You are on the right path. I think.
Spiders
You
are
think?
spiders are multiplying.
They
They're-
are not multiplying.
They're not?
They have been there the entire time.
Did you know?
Why would you lead us this way?
You landed on the lost track of time. There are the spiders everywhere. I am taking you to the center. That is where you can fix time.
How do we fix time?
Depends on the meat.
And then it's just like you could see like it's like 12 like looks at you and tries to say something, but then it just sort of like sparks.
Oh
and,
gosh,
like shudders and then like sort of and like
okay,
powers down
oh.
for a hot second.
Did I turn it off?
Oh, I'm gonna take the bird and grab the key and. I still have the key, right?
Yep, the key is sort of in there, and you can see it when it sort of like and like when it tried to answer that question, it shorted out, and then you can just rewind it back, and it goes, "Ow!" You want to fix time? Go home, fix time. Time is this way.
Is the bird saying the time is like a location?
I get the impression that this place is a little different.
Oh yeah, no, I picked that up.
We're not in Ravnica anymore, Toto.
What? My name is Gilbert.
It's a quote from back home.
Okay,
The
well,
Wizard of Oz is canon in Ravnica.
Totally.
they have weekly plays.
Actually, the Wizard of Azorius. But yeah.
Okay, well, I think so. If we fix time, I get to go home away from all these spiders. Okay.
You see 12 nod.
Okay, I will take the word of a mechanical bird.
Everyone make me perception checks. Yeah. You've been standing still for a while. Make me perception checks. Oh God, no!
Oh my god!
Oh my God, no!
Wow!
Wow!
Well, I'm glad that I wasted all of that good vibes
On
on a perception roll.
Zadie, you see so clearly. It's like you have 20/20 vision.
Oh my God!
I
No,
did not
wait,
sign
wait,
up
what?
for these jokes.
Oh, I can see better now.
Did he take off his glasses to what kind of goblin
I'm
is he?
beautiful.
Maria, what did you roll?
11.
Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing really hard. Okay, so
Damn jokes.
Gilbert, you don't everything you're just sort of on edge, so it's like when you're so hyper aware of everything that it's hard to pick out any one detail. This is kind of what it feels like right now.
Okay.
You're just so like, there are spiders everywhere, oh my god. And it's just like, that's kind of like all you can really think of. So everything looks like a spider at this point.
Oh gosh. Okay. My worst
Everything
fear.
like, you're like, it could possibly be a spider. Oh god.
That goblin? A spider.
Spider. Moria, as you're sort of standing there, you can feel like just sort of vaguely like a little bit of like a tickle, and you can feel again like another one of those spiders just sort of like crawling out from your leaf-like hair. It doesn't seem to be it seemed maybe it was there from when you woke up, or maybe not. You're not entirely sure. But Friday and Sadie, what you notice is as you try to turn and move towards where 12 had been, where 12 had indicated where time was, you feel stiff, and you look down, and Friday, you see that thick webbing that had been around your breastplate before is starting to worm its way up your legs. Sadie, it's made it a little bit farther up your body since you're shorter, and with a nat 20, you also notice a couple of interesting things, because you rolled a nat 20 and you see you see these small spiders that are just sort of swarming up your legs, and you can see they're the ones like very hurriedly wrapping you. You notice that these spiders, they are very much that same small mix of mechanical and natural look to them. You can see also among these ones there are some bigger ones, very much with like these almost needle-like pincers and arms, very much made for weaving, and you can see they're the ones that are wrapping you most. And you also notice on a couple of the bigger ones a symbol that looks very familiar to you. I'm gonna say roll me a history, but roll me it at advantage because of your nat 20, because you do see the symbol very clearly.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, Kalilstrom, who's gifted me an advantage.
Yay!
Encouraging my dad jokes.
Good, yay. So you see on one of these spiders, and actually as you sort of look around and you see a larger silhouette of a spider just sort of like very slowly make its way down one of these buildings, on their abdomen is a symbol of half a sun and half a moon.
Like the bird. Maybe.
Also, you can see the webbing has started to creep up everyone's sort of.
Delicious. Sadie's. I mean, normally Sadie's bones are stiff anyway, so like movement wise, probably didn't really feel like much of a difference. But maybe when they like
sticky.
Yeah, yeah,
Warm.
Yeah,
most
and I don't
unpleasant
need
way.
a blanket. I feel fine. Just stop it. I think like a little frustrated because definitely not warm. Doesn't need a blanket. Zadie is going to mimic the sound of the other clicking, the that's been going on.
Yep.
No idea what he's saying, but is going, because he's got the actor feet, so he's going to
Okay.
mimic perfectly whatever conversation had been going on, back down to the spiders now that are all over him, as if like maybe they would understand.
Okay.
I don't know why I picked that feat. I just rolled randomly,
it's
and that was the
perfect.
feat.
It's wonderful. Roll me performance or persuasion.
Also, Hawkeye earlier gifted you an advantage name.
Oh, well, thank you. With the actor feat, I do get advantage on deception and performance checks anyways, plus an additional plus one of my charisma normally, so that's good. We will go with, although I'm not proficient in performance, but we'll take it. That's fine. I think a 19 will do, though.
Okay. All right. You mimic the sounds of these spiders perfectly. So Moria and Friday, you hear this clicking suddenly come from Sadie, this sort of sound, and you can hear all of a sudden, it does make words, surprisingly. But what you hear the words are is bring them, bring them, bring them, bring them. And then you can see the spiders start like moving faster, and I think everyone's gonna need to make me a strength saving throw.
Oh. Don't like that.
Oh no.
Oof.
Look at my
Oof.
dice. Oh my goodness!
No!
My critical mic right now. Is this what it feels like to be freaking critical mic? This is my house. Oh.
Okay, Amoria, what did you roll?
A 4.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
going well.
This is going well. So as Sadie starts making these clicking noises, all of you kind of notice those sort of silent shadows, those sort of things that were just sort of watching from a distance. They suddenly move forward.
Do we notice that it's Zadie's like doing these noises?
Yeah, you all notice Sadie's doing these noises, but because they rolled so well, no one has a chance to react. You mimic the spiders too well, Gnome.
I am good at my craft.
So, but the thing is because you mimicked the spiders, they don't come after you. They go after everyone else. So all of
Perfect.
you suddenly feel yourselves get like knocked back, but you don't land on solid ground. You land on something shifting and something moving behind you, beneath you, moving you along these roads. And as you look down, you are being carried by tens, hundreds, small spiders, big spiders, some of the large ones that were stalking you earlier, and they're just scuttling forward, and you're trying to get up, but it's like you're moving on this rolling sea of arachnid legs and body parts, and you can see some of them are trying to lash you with their web in order to keep you still, but they're just going. Sadie, you see all your companions get knocked down by these spiders and just noom off. And the spiders around you kind of stop doing what they're doing. They're kind of like, oh, you're one of us. Okay. And then they go.
I am the Spider King! That's new. I just start kind of marching alongside my friends.
God.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Gilbert,
5,
can you-
6, 7, 8.
What are you doing? Did you do this?
Well, maybe I'm not really sure. We're going to taking us to the center. That's what I told them
Why
to
aren't
do.
they carrying you?
Because I'm the king. Isn't that obvious?
I insight check.
against
my deception?
Sadie or the spiders?
Is his deception of not knowing is a deception?
I just want to know if
I'm
is
contesting
this,
you.
I want to insight everything. I want to insight gnome and oh my goodness, this is a good deception. Okay, here we go.
Come on.
Do I
Oh
burn that advantage I was gifted already?
I don't know. Do you want to?
Oh,
It's not
I
that
feel like this is.
Woo!
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Are we having a dice off here?
I'm-
Yeah.
Let's do meets beats. Friday, you know Sadie has no idea what they did or if they caused it. They have a hunch that they probably did, and you do remember hearing them speak the spider language, but with that insight you can tell it was just especially with the tonality and how it was pitched and the inflection, you can tell that it was just based on sound mimicry and not actually understanding the words.
Well, you know what? He's not hurting anyone. I'm going to keep that information in my pocket. Gilbert,
Yeah.
I don't suppose in all of those packs and potions and vials and other things you happen to have any talcum powder, did you?
What? Are my hands free?
Yeah, you're just kind
Okay.
of prone, and it'll make movement a little bit difficult if you want to like stand up or swing at something or attack. But like you can rummage around on your person unimpeded.
I just kind of pull out more spherical objects. They all have a certain drawing on each one. One I'll pull out. It has a picture of a fire that's crudely drawn on it. The other one, I pull out another one, and I'm like just going through like this one. There's one with a crude fire. There's one with what looks like a green teardrop. And then there's another one that looks like kind of like a loud banging, but the banging is white. And then there's another one that has a fart smell on it, like a fart drawing on it. And
Roll
then
me a dexterity saving throw or a sleight of hand.
Can I have
I
a
will
more
do a-
detailed description of the fart drawing?
the fart drawing, it's kind of, you can see like 1/3 of a butt, and then there's a little bit of a grass, like green toned smoke wavy lines at a 45-degree angle going outwards, and then around it there's a bit of a puff that's kind of tinted, but it looks faded as if he's tried multiple times. And yeah,
Thank you, I am thoroughly sated.
got you. All right, I'm going to sleight of hand. 18.
Okay. You are able to, as you're pulling these out, despite the movement, there's like one moment where one almost slips out of your hand, but you're able to catch it.
Cool. I will catch it.
It's the fart one, and you get and Friday, you get a real good look at that fart picture.
I have some that make this one makes a bright light. This one smells really bad. Kind of smells like Zadie. This one is like this one releases a lot of metals and like it goes kaboom. This one, this is just juice. No, but then this one, and I'm just gonna keep like going through and kind of just like, and in a panic, I'll repeat without realizing it.
Okay.
And do you at any point say this is talcum powder?
Never. No, I don't.
Well, let's just see how this goes then, shall we? Little known
Okay.
fact, talcum powder disables spiders, paralyzes them.
I didn't know that.
I
I'll be
didn't
sure
know
to
that
carry
either.
some.
Yeah, just put the talcum powder on their back.
I'll be sure to experiment next time.
Okay, so all of you three of you are essentially surfing the spider wave, and the Spider King is just marching along.
I hate you, know.
And then as you can suddenly feel this sort of like bumpy, creepity crawling feeling that had been going on your back and sort of carrying you along these stones, you can see they're moving, and they're moving faster and faster and faster, and these shadows of these dilapidated buildings amidst the trees sort of peter out into this very wide circular courtyard. For reference, it's a 30-foot radius, so 60-foot diameter. And at the very end, you can feel like the spiders suddenly disperse from underneath you, and you can feel the solid ground again beneath your butts. And as you sort of get up and you see these spiders sort of disperse to the edges of the courtyard, you look up and you see this massive Ferris wheel. It looks almost like a Ferris wheel, but it looks like a very broken one. And instead of the normal like lights and gilded plating that a traditional fair Ferris wheel would have, it is instead covered and covered and covered by a massive spider web, stringy and black and just drooping. And in the center of this web is a massive spider, 10 foot by 10 foot wide, disjointed and unusually sharp limb just sort of perched at the center of this web, and it raises its head to look at you, and you can see glittering like stained glass in its eyes, these 9 just sort of eyeballs, different colors, is sort of greenish, purplish, blue. And as it shifts in the light of the twilight, you can see on its abdomen this very large symbol, the same on 12's chest, half a sun, half a moon, and it looks up at you and clicks its pincers and goes, "Well, hello, dinner." And that's where we're gonna take our break.
As we take our break, thank you very much, Sphinx, for coming in with that donation. Gilbert and Moria both also have advantages to use at your discretion.
Yay!
So everyone, we're going to take 5 minutes to refresh our drinks, take a bio, maybe put the kettle on. If you want an expedient break, I recommend putting the kettle on first, then doing all of your other tasks. It's the best way to make your break short. I'm just apparently an encyclopedia of useless knowledge today and things people didn't ask me. Yeah, let's go on a break.
This is phenomenal.
We'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic break. We certainly did. I had a bit of cake. It was delightful and dairy-free. Mackenzie.
Oh,
Spiders,
hi.
huh?
Spiders. So we come back to the scene where 3 of you are sitting on the ground. 1 of you is still standing, surrounded by spiders, very proudly of what you've done. And this very large, much bigger than the rest, even some of the bigger ones, pale in comparison to how big and bulbous and disjointed this spider looks. It has a very similar look to 12, where it's half metal and half natural, but instead of wooden parts, they're like that shiny black carapace material. And these eyes, these 9 eyes in its face, sort of glitter like stained glass, and you see that symbol on its abdomen. And it looks at you, and in common, it says, "Hello, dinner," and it just sort of like peers down at you and looks at all of you. This is the first spider everyone has been able to understand. It is in common.
Sorry, did the spider just say dinner?
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
Ooh, I'm hungry. I didn't even have breakfast.
I'm convinced he's trying to kill us. And I point at Zadie.
I'm so tempted to be like, roll an insight check.
I really think that he's maybe just a little confused. But perhaps also, Spider, dearest, you're also a little confused. Perhaps you mean that we are here to enjoy dinner with you. We are here for dinner.
Roll me persuasion?
This will go well.
Mm-hmm. Very well.
I see you TikTok too.
That's its pins are just sort of click click, and you can
Ah.
see like this mouth of teeth just sort of grin. They're very sharp, almost like needle points, all in its teeth. You are for dinner, yes. You are a gift, last I heard.
Well, we are certainly delightful.
I feel like
My
you're making
mother
this
always
worse.
called me.
Moria, what did you say?
I said I feel like you're making this worse.
I agree with her.
Yes, I'm really trying. If anyone has any better ideas, feel free to chime in.
Moria's gonna stand up, or try to stand up if I can.
You can. There are no more spiders beneath you. It is the floor's a little sticky because cobwebs and spider webs. But like you can stand up without a problem.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stand
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Gilbert's way too scared to do anything.
Okay. And this sort of larger spider kind of squats, and then like you can see 3 of its eyes sort of squint and narrow at you.
Well, you are not who I was expecting.
And you can see it tilt its head and tilt and tilt and tilt till it's almost like 90 degrees tilted and just sort of looking at you.
Who are you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, talking to Moria.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I am Moria. I do not know how I came to be here, but here I am. Why were you looking for me, or not for me, but for other people?
And you can see the spider click and turns, and again, and it keeps tilting its head, but it tilts its head so it's almost looking upside down now, and it's turned its attention back to Friday.
Did she tell you about the game?
Friday's going to like turn to the side, like
Uh-huh.
fumbling with their pack. No, they didn't tell me about the games. Games tend to infuriate me.
Ah, that's a pity. It's all a bit fun. she was very excited to know you and him.
And you could see again the head tilts, so it's completely upside down now, and you can see two of the eyes sort of squint, gesturing over towards Sadie.
You and him have joined the fun.
I say I'm not really sure what you're alluding to. Fumble, 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 fumble.
Roll me a stealth check?
I mean, I'm not really being stealthy.
Then never mind, just keep fumbling, it's cool.
I could roll deception to look harmless.
Yeah, sure, do that. What are you fumbling
I am
for?
a sweet, innocent bab. Nothing really. I'm just fumbling whilst I get a grip on something.
Okay.
Do deceptive.
Okay, yeah. You are able to fumble harmlessly. Then the spider sort of turns and looks over at Gilbert now.
Oh God! Please don't look at me.
Hello.
Hi. I'm like her. I point to Moria. I'm not from here. Also, I'm really small and tiny and like pretty much all bones, and I have a lot of chemicals on me. I'm basically processed. You don't want to eat me because it's bad for you. You know, it's unhealthy. You look big and strong. Moria, back here.
Moria will walk over to Gilbert just to kind of pat him on the head.
See, harmless. I'm nothing.
Roll me a persuasion. Or, I mean, you're not really deceiving, so I guess persuasion.
Persuasion, okay.
You also have advantage.
You have an
You do
advantage
have an
to
advantage.
So does Moria.
You know what? I'm gonna save it because I feel like
Okay.
it's gonna get real toasty in here. So I'm just gonna go. Okay, cool. Yeah.
use.
thank you.
Okay.
Well, as long as you don't get in my way.
No, not even. I'll even help you set the plate.
Who is the evil one now?
Yes, this seems to be a recurring pattern. How far away am I from this spider person?
Okay, so you are about in the center of this. You are in the center of a 60-foot diameter plaza. So you are 30 feet away from. I'm like literally Pythagorean theoreming in my head right now. So you're 30 feet away from the Ferris wheel, which is 60-foot diameter, and the spider's in the center. So you're like 90 feet away?
369 triangle, yeah, that works, I think.
Yeah, 90 feet away.
Oh wait, it's 345. 36
Yeah.
something.
You're 75 feet away. I'm not gonna math it out. It's fine. You're further than 60 feet.
Square root of 45. Any
That
takers?
one.
3.
Close enough.
I don't think so.
I'm just. God. Okay, hold on.
That would be 9.
I'm
More than
very
6,
good at
less than
math.
7 is right. Somewhere around 60 to 70 feet.
67. I'll give you the extra. Like it. I just calculated it out. It's 67.82. So. Just say 60 feet. We'll just say 60 feet because it's just the spider scuttling around, and 60 feet is a pretty good range for things, anyways.
I think we're okay. You're a tree. I don't think they're gonna eat you.
I hope not. At this point, I've stopped patting his head after he said he'll help serve the plate. I kind of like give him a very strong pat on the back.
Like,
Ow!
bang.
Yes.
And like he's their spider king, so he's fine. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
And you can see sort of the spider turn again, and its head rights finally back, doing like finishing the full rotation and sort of looking at all of you, and sort of moves a little bit down. And you can see as it moves, it's just the way that these limbs move. There's sharp. There are parts of it that almost look even unnatural, even for a creature like as this. Like the joints and the elbows move, or the limbs move past the elbows as they slide, almost like. It's like, you know, when you when you have a stapler, and you have like the thing that slides in the stapler, and as it moves, you can see like that metal piece just like slide out. It's kind of like that, just sort of like as it moves, it's disjointed and it's just sort of clicking and moving, and it just sort of gets a little bit lower and looks and peers, all 9 of its eyes just sort of looking at the 4 of you. Not many people get far in this game. I'm excited to see what you brought.
So now it's only 60 feet away?
Yes.
I'm going to walk a little closer, rummaging in my bag.
You rolled pretty high and you rolled fine enough on your deception, and mostly Gilbert rolled really high on persuasion, so you got some time.
Perhaps we could know the name of our gracious host?
I'm 9.
I think you'll find you have 8.
The joke is lost on the spider.
Are you afraid of 6? No reason.
Which one is...
I haven't met 6 in a very long time.
Am I 30 feet away now?
Yes.
I'm going to stand and say, well, I'm terribly sorry. This is awfully reckless of me. But I'm going to throw a javelin and then another javelin at the creature and run 30 feet to close in on it. Bonus action raging. Ah!
Okay.
That escalated. We were just having a lovely conversation. We just introduced the spider.
Look, I tried.
Okay.
It didn't laugh at my joke, therefore it can still kill me.
Okay.
I love it.
Everyone roll me initiative. You'll get a surprise round on the spider. So, yeah, everyone roll me some initiative.
What? Did I
Roll
blink?
initiative.
What just happened? I got...
Someone attacked, which means it's initiative time.
Oh, no, wait, it didn't work. Hold on. Click.
That's
Okay, here we
this
go.
one. There we go.
I got 16.
Okay. I need a roll for these things. Oh god. Okay. Let me open up all the spooter windows. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, Scrat, you got a 19. Moria, what did you get?
18.
Okay. Oof. Oh, wait, no, I pressed the edit button, not the roll button. Oh, well, they're going dead last, that's fine. Okay, so it's Friday at the top of the round with 19, and then Moria with 18. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, no, Moria with 18, then 9 with 17, and then Gilbert with 16. Sadie with 11, and then bringing up the rear, don't worry about it, it's fine. So, Friday, you get a surprise round before your actual initiative starts. Do your
Javelin! Javelin!
I'm assuming reckless?
No, it's a ranged weapon.
Okay. The first one misses, the second one hits.
Excellent. No rage, it's not a melee weapon. So 7 piercing damage, and I'm going to take my halberd and run, sort of like how you imagine a kobold might run, but like times 2 in all dimensions and make it an orc. Like just clumsy guard run towards the spider.
when the animation has them, when the run animation hasn't rendered properly. Okay.
Bonus action rage before on
okay.
that bonus round though, and then.
Okay.
Hey, I'm first in the initiative.
Yes, you are first in the initiative, so you can go.
Excellent. Now I will be rage, reckless attacking, and I halberd you 12. I halberd you 20.
The 12 will miss. The 20 hits.
Both of those were reckless.
Yeah, the 12 will still miss. So that's 14 damage. And then roll me 2d10. Wait, no. Is it when you hit for your feature, or is it?
You wrote it. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't remember.
What was it called? Arcanus Noctum?
No,
No.
it's Magic Mayhem.
Whenever you make
You make a
melee
melee
attack.
attack. So you get to roll. You roll 2. Roll 2d10, please.
it's
Don't worry
fine.
about it.
I remember 8. 8 was bad.
8 was. Shoot, man. Target is blinded, and then 6 is fire. Okay. Yeah. So I have to roll a Constitution saving throw for this bad boy. As an 8, I think an 18 passes your spell save.
Yeah, I don't have a spell save modifier, so yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome, but it is blinded until its next turn. Roll me 1d6 for fire damage. Okay, cool. All right, so you swing recklessly at the spider. Its one javelin just sort of pierced into its abdomen and just sort of makes this grinding metallic noise of a screech. And the one javelin pierces, you swing with your first halberd attack and it misses, but you catch it up on the upswing right, sort of where its abdomen meets its head. And as you swing that first time, you can see the arc of your swing. There's a shadow that sort of leaps out from your halberd and like wraps around all 9 of these eyes and dims their light. And the second time you swing, there's dark fire and it sort of crawls up the spider's body. It doesn't catch as well as it did with the dust ride you'd fought just a little bit ago, but you can see that it takes a little bit of damage. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Bonus action, look to my surprised party members and go, come on! Have at 'em!
Woohoo! With that, it is Moria's turn.
Okay, so I'm going to take a spear and I'm going to run forward and try and hit him. So that is a 22 to hit.
Okay. You are actually going to need... Actually, no, yeah, you're fine. So 22 to hit will hit.
Okay. And then I roll a d8. So a 2.
Okay. Okay, that, then, yeah, so it does hit, you're throwing a spear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you throw and you catch it on the opposite side where Brightest Javelin had hit, and it just sort of pierces again that mixture of carapace and metal. And again, you can see the spider just sort of like make that staticky grating noise in anger. Anything else you want to do on your turn? Anything else you can do?
I'd like to get a little closer if possible.
Okay. That won't be a problem. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. The spider's currently like... Oh, do you have a modifier for your spear damage? I think you add some damage to it, right?
Oh, yes, I add +3, so...
Okay,
that was
cool.
fine. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so right now the spider's kind of on the edge of this giant Ferris wheel coated in its web. So it's about like 20 feet above you now. And you can get like right, if you want to get up right next to Friday, you can, like right in melee range, or you can stay a little bit further back. What would you want to do?
I'll probably still stay a little bit further back because I have a spear.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you stay back. I'll say you're about, we'll keep you within about 30 feet of the spider.
Okay.
We'll keep you 30 feet above 9. Speaking of which, it is now 9's turn. And after it makes that sort of grating noise again, and it's sort of like, it can't really see, but it just sort of springs off the web and it lands sort of skittering on the ground, just sort of at the center of this plaza. And as you can see now that it's no longer on its web, and as it moves, it almost moves unnaturally quick, limbs sort of moving disjointedly with the rest of its body almost blurring. And it's going to make a bunch of blind attacks at everyone, because it blind. but it makes 4 attacks, so that's 1 on all of you.
Oh my goodness, I have fear.
So right closest is there's all at disadvantage though. So 1, 2. Okay, well. So natural 1, the closest to it would be Friday. So a 7 doesn't hit, surprisingly.
I dodge, yes.
And then a 7 doesn't hit. I hate you, Scrat. A 7 doesn't hit Moria, I'm assuming?
It does not.
Okay. Does a 15 hit Sadie?
Yes.
Okay. And does a 22 hit Gilbert?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the first one on Sadie, you take 6 slashing and 2 poison damage. And then the second one on Gilbert takes 13 slashing and 2 poison damage.
Ooh, ouchies.
And that's all it can do on its turn, or that's all they can do on their turn, which does bring it to Gilbert's turn as you sort of are like, don't worry, I'll plate your food for you. It blindly sort of lashes out and you can feel these vicious sword-like claws just tear across your chest. And you can feel that sting of poison, which you know surprisingly well given your alchemist expertise. What would you like to do?
So hopefully I don't do this incorrectly, so forgive
Okay.
me. But
No,
I
don't
took
worry about
the explosive. Oh, is he within range of everyone else, or would you say he's like 5 feet radius?
I will say, because of how quickly this thing can move, everyone, I will say only you and Sadie are like within melee range. Everyone else has like a 5-foot buffer.
Okay.
It just because it did just hit Sadie and you, so.
If he's blind and I try to move away a little bit, does he get attack of opportunity?
I think they do, but it'll be at disadvantage.
Okay.
You can also, if you would like, I will house rule it. You can roll stealth if you want to like try and sneak a hair bit away, and
I would
we'll see.
like to do that.
Okay,
That's
we can do
cool.
that as a free action. You can do that.
All right. I guess
Well-
I'm not gonna do that.
No.
Okay.
So, do you still move away?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll still move away, but
Alright.
yeah, I have to.
This
Yeah.
attack is still at disadvantage.
Okay.
So does an 11 hit?
No.
Okay, so it
Okay,
tries
cool.
to blindly lash out at you and.
Okay, I'm just gonna move back a
they
couple
miss.
feet,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to use explosive missile, which allows me
Okay.
to attach one of my bombs into my crossbow.
Okay.
And what I'm gonna do is attach a acid bomb, which I'm
Okay.
allowed to use. And then instead of using an attack, it uses a action known as throw the bomb or throw an object.
Okay.
But since it's attached to the missile, it doesn't have a radius, so it should just
Okay.
hit the spider.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I think I have to roll a.
I think you still have to roll to attack with
Yes.
the crossbow. You do have an advantage. I will remind you do have an advantage to use if you would like.
I will. This is when I will use it. Yes,
Okay.
I will use it. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
Okay. A 16 will hit.
Okay, so now because I'm level 5, I think it says I have the damage of this becomes an acid, so it's 1d4 plus 2d10s, and then they have to do a saving throw.
Okay.
And if they fail the saving throw, they get the same amount of damage the next turn. Or
Okay.
at the end
What
their
kind of
turn.
saving throw?
It says make a. I think it's a dex saving
Okay.
throw.
Cool. Awesome. Roll me that damage, and I'll roll the dex save.
Okay, so roll 1d4 plus 2d10s. And then I have my
The alchemist
modifier,
is so
which is
good.
a plus 3. Yes.
All right. Give me that tasty damage.
Poop.
Well, you know. Okay. So it takes 11 points of damage, and then I make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes, and I think mine is. Oh, poop! I didn't do it.
Does a
14.
22 save?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
Okay, but it still takes the 11 acid damage. Why don't you describe? Because this is your bomb. What does it look like as it impacts the spider?
So it's just like a clay bottle, but it's like much smaller than his regular handful one. And what he do is he basically panically just ties it with a rope at the end of his crossbow, and then he just kind of points and shoots it. And once it hits it shatters, but the inner layer of the clay kind of like jags into the spider.
Ooh, okay.
But I guess because he made the saving throw, they just kind of pop right out. But
Okay.
he'll still get some of the acid.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so it takes that acid damage. And is there anything else you want to do that on a turn? And again, it makes that sort of
little
static
squeal? And kind of cry a little bit.
It is a free action to cry.
Cool. Then I'll take that. Thank you.
Okay. With that, it is Sadie's turn. You just got slashed by this spider with blind panic. And
I thought we were gonna be friends. Don't like this. Sadie will roll up their sleeves and then just kind of like put their hands in front of their chest and just like emanating from the center of their chest in between their hands is just this like bright swirl of like a purple beam and just this bright white light, and they're kind of braiding and twisting together, and 2 beams of Eldritch Blast are gonna shoot out of this
Yes!
thing.
Eldritch Blasted.
I'm a
Give it
warlock.
a
What else am I
good
supposed to
Eldritch
use?
Blast. Give it a good Eldritch Blast. Go for it.
What is my purpose? Use Eldritch Blast. Oh.
That's what I do. My spell attack. Why is it not? Come on. Spells.
Is it trying to do like cast at like what level or something? It might be trying to. There might be a pop-up window behind your.
Oh, well, no, it just didn't want it.
Okay.
Great. Sorry about that. Thought
No
that
worries,
was
no worries.
in there. So that is a 1d20 plus 6. The first attack. And second attack.
Wow.
Cool. Cool.
Unfortunately, both will miss. You do have an advantage, and I feel bad because those are really bad rolls. If you would like to use an advantage retroactively, you can.
No, we're
Okay.
good. We're
Okay.
fine. You know, Sadie just didn't have breakfast, and now there was a promise of dinner, and now that doesn't seem likely anymore.
Okay.
So I think Sadie's game is just a little off right now.
All right. Okay. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yeah. How about we use a little bonusy action of nimble escape, and
Okay.
not be in fighting range of
Okay.
of the big meanie.
Of the big boy.
Yeah.
Of the big boy. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Cool.
And I think that looks like like rogues are really cool and how they like maybe backflip out of combat. Sadie literally just like takes a slow step back. It's just how the world works around
just-
Sadie.
Nope.
Yep, exactly.
And that's pretty good because up next, you can see as you sort of nope out of range, you can see some of those larger spiders, the ones that had been watching you throughout that and stalking you throughout that forest. A couple scuttle forward, and 2 of them sort of join the fray, and they are going to make an attack one against Friday and one against the person who just acid burnt their leader. So sorry, Gil. Sorry,
Fine.
Gilbert. So let's do one against Friday. Does a 19 hit? Friday?
You know the answer to that question. You know the answer.
Yes, but I like hearing you say it.
My armor class is 10, Mackenzie.
Yeah. All right. So that's gonna be 6 piercing and 3 poison damage. 6 is half because you're raging.
To be fair, you didn't hit me with a 19 though. You hit me with a 20. I reckless attacked.
Oh yeah. Cool. This is a 20 hit.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 piercing. 3 piercing.
Oh, holy hell! Did we get a rest before the last game?
Sure.
Thank goodness.
You should have said no.
You were asleep on the ground for a hot second, so we'll say being knocked unconscious in the Feywild. Yeah, we'll say you gotta rest in there.
Yep.
You're fine. And then another bite at Gilbert does an 18 hit.
It does.
That is 5 piercing and 3 poison.
Hey, okay, I'll take it.
And then both of them, you can see them, they sort of spark, and then all of a sudden they disappear and then reappear right beside 9. Sort of flanking 9 as guards, almost. And with that, it is up to the top of the initiative, Friday's turn.
Friday would like to yell and attack twice with her halberd.
Okay.
Recklessly.
One thing, because this spider is now off their web, and you did not surprise them. Attack rolls against this spider have disadvantage, unless the spider is incapacitated or restrained.
Only I had talcum powder. Well, reckless
so if
attack,
you use
I'll
reckless, it'll be straight.
I'll negate that. Okay, yeah, sure. This is fine. Everything's fine. This is fine.
The blame Mage and Press, man.
This is fine. Hanya! 18! Hanya!
18 will hit.
17!
17 will hit. Both will hit.
Yeah!
Roll me your sweet, sweet damage.
That will be 32 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And I guess you're going to want me to roll a few times on this.
Yeah, roll me twice.
4 and a 5.
Oh, God.
So, darkness cast centered on the target, and I become invisible until the end of my next turn.
All right. You become invisible. Sorry, my door is rattling. You become invisible, but also no one can see you become invisible because as you hit this spider with that downswing of your halberd, there's a sudden blossoming cloud of darkness that just sort of envelops the entire area? I think it's the entire area.
Should be a 30-foot sphere, I think.
Okay, not in the entire. About half of the courtyard is now covered in complete magical darkness. Which is, my God, who is rattling? Stop that. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
I must have some bonus action stuff I can do, right?
I don't know. I think you can rage.
I'm already raging.
Okay, then that's about it.
Yeah. I will be spouting laws that I consider the spider to have broken, including intention to commit murder / manslaughter, harm to another, loitering with intent, destruction of fairground rides and public property, and many other things. Resisting arrest is one that I'll throw in there. Causing a darkness.
How many handcuffs do you need to arrest the spider?
One big one with a blade on the end.
Okay. With that, it is Moria's turn. As you look at this, all of a sudden there's this cloud of darkness suddenly blooms around the spider as Friday's blade sort of chips into its body, and then you can see sort of just hovering at the edge of this cloud, 2 smaller spiders which attacked both Gilbert and Sadie. What would you like to do?
Are the 2 spiders within 5 feet of each other? Did you say?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna use the spell Call Lightning.
Okay.
And so it essentially is at a 60-foot radius centered on a point you can see.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use that.
Okay, I think that will catch the big boy, the 2 small ones, and I think also Friday.
Oh no. Okay, is there a way to not?
You cannot see Friday though, because Friday turned invisible. So I will say there's no way to not hit Friday.
I don't know what to do.
I'll say do it.
It's
Do
fine.
it.
Okay,
This is
I'll do
okay.
it. Okay, so I'll cast that then.
Okay.
I embrace this.
I rolled a 16.
16. Wait, is Call Lightning a attack or is it a saving throw?
Oh, it's a. I think it's an attack.
So I get confused between Call Lightning and Lightning Bolt, but here I can.
Storm cloud appears in the shape of a cylinder that's 10 feet tall with a 60-foot... Jesus! A 60-foot radius. Centered on a point you can see within the range above you. Blimey.
Good.
Yeah, the spell fails when you choose a point you can see within range. Each creature within 5 feet of that point must make a dexterity saving throw. Oh, okay, so the cloud appears above it, but the lightning bolt that strikes down from it only targets everything within 5 feet of that point, so you can not hit Friday.
Okay, good.
Friday will not be hit by this.
Are we outside in stormy conditions?
Yeah, we are outside in twilight sky conditions, so there aren't necessarily clouds, but
Specifically says that if you are outdoors in stormy conditions, you get an extra 1d10 of damage.
yeah, sure, why not? It's the Feywild. Add another d10 in there. So roll me 4d10.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, so that is.
And then I gotta make a dexterity save for all this crawly boys, my crawly babies.
Okay, so that would be a 23. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let's just roll.
Oh, dear.
Oh. And oh god. Okay. All right. They all did really. I'm assuming a 9, a 5, and a 10 all fail, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. You call this lightning down, and immediately those 2 smaller spiders, they are crispy.
What is the damage type?
Lightning?
Ouch.
You are not you. It's not you, Friday. You do not get a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cause I thought it was within a 60-foot radius,
I
but
see.
it's not. It's the lightning bolt strikes down, and it's everything within 5 feet of that striking point. So there is a
Got it,
point
got it.
where it could have hit It could have hit the big boys, the big boy, the 2 small ones, without hitting you.
I'm safe and happy.
You are fine. You are
And-
fine.
I
Not
did
one,
kill
even
you.
slightly concerned about holding a long metal pole and wearing metal armor in these conditions. This is fine.
I will say, because it's magic, I'm not gonna have you roll for it. But yeah, the two small spiders are immediately incinerated by this blast. You can see how this lightning arcs down and it dances across the metal parts of these almost clockwork-like spiders, and they just sort of like they do that shuddering thing, and then they short out and go limp. And you can see black scorch marks goes across it. In the middle of the darkness, you hear that noise that the spider had been making every time it'd been hit. And though you can't see in the middle of the darkness through that very brief sort of flash of magical lightning, you can see that silhouette of these eyes just sort of, a couple of them were scarred and blackened out by the lightning strike. This thing is looking rough. With that, though, it is Nine's turn. It is the spider's turn, and it's going to use its movement and get out of the darkness. Cannot see Friday. It does see, however, the druid who just called lightning on it and its fellows. So, and I think, yeah, if it goes for you, it can't go for. Actually, no, it can. Yeah, it's got 60 feet movement. It can go. It can hit everyone. So it's gonna hit everyone,
Yay.
except for Friday, because Friday you're invisible.
Does it? Hang on. Is this the one that's close to me? Does it move away from me?
Yes.
It's opportunity attack.
Okay, yeah. It'll be at disadvantage because you're in darkness.
But I'm attacking recklessly.
Cancelled out.
Hee. There's a thing. Hang on a minute. I know there's a thing. Something to
Yes,
do with
there's a
reckless
thing.
attacks.
You have to roll on a table to see if you actually attack.
Ah. Okay. Cool. Great. So I need to roll on a table to see if I even get to attack. Got it.
Yes.
4.
I believe. Wait, no. I think it's a D6.
Is it?
It's a D6 for this one.
It is a D6.
Yeah.
2.
You do not attack. You
The
do
attack-
something else.
Automatically misses. You cast Firebolt instead.
Okay. Roll me a spell attack. Oh god. Okay.
No rage damage, but
No, yeah. With this class, you get rage damage on spells.
Great! 26 points of damage.
Yeah, you You don't. This thing is on its last legs, but I do want you. I want to know how this looks for Friday, who is convinced they are not a spellcaster.
Aren't I in darkness?
Yes.
It just feels like a normal hit.
Yeah. Yep. The spider emerges out of the darkness, and it's smoldering. You're not sure why. No one is really sure why or what caused. Maybe it's the lightning. It might have been the lightning. We're not sure though. But with that, it is going to make 2 swings at Moria, and then 1 scream. And then it's gonna like skitter over and hit Gilbert and Sadie. So sorry. We'll just make swings. All right. Boop, boop. Okay. For Moria, does a 21 or a 12 hit?
The 21 hits me.
Okay. So that's 12 slashing and 4 poison. And then it does move away from you, so if you want to get an opportunity attack on it, you can.
Okay, I would like to do that.
Okay, that would be with your spear. It will be a disadvantage because this thing, because of its blurred movement feature.
Okay.
So just roll twice and then take the lowest.
Oh my gosh, I got a 2.
Okay. Unfortunately, that will miss as it sort of and like lashes out at you and then skitters over. It makes 1 swipe at Sadie. Does a 22 hit? Okay. That's 5 slashing and 3 poison. And then it also moves away from you, so you can get an attack of opportunity on it, but it will be at disadvantage because of its blurred movement.
I mean, yeah, might as well
Okay.
snap off with the Ikawa.
Go for it. Hit it with your cane.
Yes, my fancy cane. Definitely found from the Feywild.
Not great.
Okay, a 6 will miss. And then this last one is for Gilbert because it was saving you for last because you did just violently acid burn it.
Oh,
But it
good.
misses. I'm assuming a 9 doesn't hit.
yeah.
It sort of
I'm good.
skitters over and you like try and it tries to bite you between these two massive pincers, but you're able to like nope out of the way just in time. And with that, it is your turn.
Okay, so is it right on me right now?
It is right on top of you.
I'm gonna use Nimble Escape
Okay.
to once again get some distance.
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't want to use Nimble Escape.
Okay.
I
You
would
all
like to
just
use-
sat perfectly still for a second. I thought Zoom had crashed.
I would like to use Flashbang,
Okay.
which is where I throw a concussive explosion, and it allows me to, as a bonus action, and the creature cannot use a reaction, and then he is disoriented, distracted, whatever, blah blah blah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just basically I'm disengaging, but in a fancy way, pretty much.
Cool.
And then I'm gonna run back a few feet, and I'm going to randomly just rummage through my back, and I'm going to grab a. I'm gonna grab a bomb that has a laughing face with "haha" written on it,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go ahead and throw that primed and throw it
Okay.
over.
Throw it at the spooter.
Okay, so it is the same thing. So boop, 15.
A 15. Is it wait for this one? Is it just area of effect or is it?
This one is a.
Does it have to hit?
It's the default. It's the 5-foot radius of wherever it lands.
Okay, yeah. Well, it just barely misses. So
Okay.
it more of like it bonks off its head and falls like right underneath it, but it's still going to have an effect.
Okay, I think it says when the bomb is missed in the handbook, it's more like it just doesn't go off. Like it malfunctions or if it just doesn't go off.
But I want to see the spider laugh, so I'm gonna say
Okay.
it does go off.
Okay, cool. I'm down. So yeah, it's a 5 foot of wherever it goes off, and it will
Okay.
do. It has to do a saving throw, but a Constitution saving throw,
Ooh,
and it
good.
does
It's bad at those.
So it's a D8 plus 2 D10s
Okay.
for damage. So
I will
roll-
say because it missed, it doesn't take the damage, but
Okay,
if
cool.
it fails the save, it will end up laughing and go prone.
Cool.
Does a 12 make it?
No, it does not.
All right. I don't entirely know. Oh, you know what this looks like? It looks like when, you know how spiders when they lay on their back and their legs curl up? That's kind of what happens. This spider just sort of its eyes, like, or the remaining like 5 eyes that weren't charred by the lightning bolt, they just sort of like flicker and they sort of flash in different multicolors, and it has a very mechanical and then just like flips over on its back and its legs kind of curl and like twitch a little. It is prone. It does not take any damage, but it is prone.
Okay, and Gilbert goes like, "Oh, that was supposed to be acid. I gotta label these better."
And there's a laughing spider just kind of curled on the ground. And with that, it is Sadie's turn.
Sadie's in a bit of pain right now, and that was a very cool explosion. But whatever, like, kind of uprooted from the air, you just see Sadie, like, put a finger a little, like a knuckle, like, right up one of the nostrils, and
and just Eldritch blasts a sneeze out.
Okay. It is
Wash your
prone, so
hands,
you have
everyone.
advantage.
Wash your hands.
Oh yeah, wash your hands. Don't touch your face like I'm about to do. Oh.
Like everyone just touched their face when you said that.
is,
Yeah, it's so hard not to.
So yeah, these are we'll say these are at advantage because like it has blurred movement, but then it's prone, so it's like we'll just say you have advantage on these.
Okay.
Stacking
So here's
advantage
the-
and disadvantage is annoying.
That's for the first attack, so 18. Second attack is a 12.
Okay, the 18 will hit, the 12 doesn't.
Okay.
But the 18 definitely hits.
Okay. Oh,
Oh
wow.
my
Ooh,
God.
I'll take max damage. That's a 13.
Hey, Gnome, do you want to describe how you killed the spider with your sneeze?
Yeah, I just sneezed.
Can you? What does this look like? What does the Eldritch sneeze look like?
Have we just recorded the first COVID-19 TTRPG death?
Damn it!
That was not an attempt. Just an old man with allergies in kind of like an open space, and there's a storm brewing above, so like the barometric pressure shifting, and he's in pain, maybe bleeding a little bit, and then all of a sudden Goblin Cousin goes and throws a bomb, and just dust is everywhere in the air, and just a good and it just double ultra blast. That's it.
From both nostrils.
From both nostrils.
Double barrel eldritch sneeze.
God. Oh God. Yeah. So.
And he doesn't even notice, right? He has no clue. He just kind of like lifts up a corner of his tunic and just like, blows his nose. And
We do not endorse blowing noses in your shirts here at the Academy. That is unsanitary. Please blow your nose in a tissue. We are in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah, you sneeze, and all of you can collectively turn and look as like this bright purple and white light flares from this very elderly goblin's nose. One goes a little wide, but the second hits this prone spider square in the abdomen. And there's just a flash of this mix of like this deep purple glow mixed with like this bright light and this sort of creaking of metal, and when the light clears and you're able to sort of clear your eyes, there is no more big spider. It is like a completely charred and metaled husk. Congrats, you killed the spider with a sneeze.
checking that one off of my
and-
RPG experiences.
And as this as a spider sort of, as like this explosion clears and you're able to clear your eyes, you're able to see the other spiders who had kind of just been like watching. There's like this collective sort of like screech, and like a lot of them just sort of skitter away, like frightened by the light of the explosion and probably the noise of the sneeze, and also the fact that their leader is dead.
That can do it.
That might do it. Friday, you become invisible again. There is still Moria. You still have the storm cloud above you because it's a concentration. So I mean, it's still up there, but you don't have to. There isn't really. If you want to hit some of the spiders that are running away, you can. But if not, that's fine.
Okay, I'll probably just let it go.
Okay. it poofs. You can definitely see as the darkness that Friday had summoned clears, and you can see you kind of rub your eyes after the bright flashbang, like the double flashbang that had happened. You can see there's these charred marks on the cobblestone and like these sort of blackened explosion marks where the smaller spiders had been before you completely obliterated them with your lightning bolt. And yeah, you are clear. You can see sort of the wreckage of this corpse almost. It's like you can see the metal parts are still there. The pieces that were made of carapace are kind of charred from either the lightning bolt or the fire bolt or the sneeze. And you can see like bits of gears and metal pieces, kind of like metal springs, had sort of popped off along with the explosion. But yeah.
So we all witnessed Gnome sneeze a spider to death, right?
We all witnessed Sadie sneeze a spider to death. Yes.
Okay. With that, I would like to walk up to Sadie and be like, I'm sorry. Did you just sneeze magic from your nose
What?
and killed a spider?
I didn't kill the spider. She did with her lightning.
He points to Moria.
She'll kind of flip her hair over her shoulder a little bit.
Oh, right. That makes I must have I look at my bomb.
Your laughing gas grenade.
It's like, is this leaking? Okay.
Thank you very much for that donation. Sphinx would like me to draw from the deck of many. Oh wow, I just bunch of the.
Okay. I will say, because we only have 15, 20-ish minutes left, the effect of the deck of many may not be exact, but it'll still be fun in chaos.
Yeah, most of these are, instant effects. If they're not, you can, do them over episodes. I did it to you, after all. So I guess,
also made.
Tell me when to stop.
Oh, it's weird being on this side of it.
Yeah, isn't it?
Stop.
Hey, I got the key. I'll send you.
Oh, that's magic weapon.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get that in between episodes.
Great.
Yeah. Sorry, we'll go back to the conversation between Sadie, Moria, and Gilbert.
Well, that was not as terrifying as I thought it would be.
I told you not to worry about the spiders.
You literally called them to us.
I'm the Spider King.
If you're the king, couldn't you have told them to not eat us?
Indeed,
I
that
thought-
seemed logical.
I thought they were having us for supper.
Where's 12? I want to leave.
12 kind of like perches on one of the leftover legs of 9, the spider, and just sort of like is looking down. You can see like they're sort of studying the wreckage very curiously.
12. What are you looking at?
Fix time, fix time, fix time,
No, that's broken. That's really broken.
fix time, fix time.
I know it's dead.
Pick up here, fix time. You want to fix time.
I'm not gonna touch that spider.
Are the
Do
parts we
you
need-
want to go home? And then it keeps going to look and sort of like flaps, sort of perched amid the wreckage of the spider.
I look at the party like for confirmation of what to do. It's kind of like a
think he
fearful.
means that we should use those parts to create something to fix time.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay. And then I'll cautiously walk towards the dead spider.
There are no more spiders. It's all dead in metal parts. Anyone who wants to inspect 9's corpse for possible clock parts or anything you'd like to use to build, roll me an investigation. Or honestly, nature would also work too because of how the Feywild works.
I would
Weirdly
do
enough.
I'm good at
Got it.
investigation. I plan to be a detective one day.
that day is not today.
Well, it's not a 1. Moria, what did you roll? Or
I
did
got
you roll?
I got a not natural 20.
Okay. Sadie, did you roll or?
I don't think he has any interest in looking at the
Okay.
scrap parts.
Okay. So you kind of look around. Actually, Sadie, I won't. I do need you to roll me something. I need you to roll me a religion.
I can do that.
Okay. And then as you're looking around, Gilbert, because you are an alchemist, you kind of it is a little bit easier for you to locate some parts. And you can see sort of amid the wreckage. These parts are very easy to find. Just sort of like these broken bits of a disc. And you can see at the center there's a knob for like a couple of clock hands. And then you can see like the gears that kind of go behind it. You can kind of fit it together, especially with Friday's help. You're able to sort of piece together out of some of the broken bits of this body a sort of circular ring sort of shape. It's a little hard to like. It sort of looks like a clock, and then you can kind of find a couple other pieces that sort of work as hands. And then you can see 12 sort of perching. Who rolled the d20?
Sorry.
You rolled a natural 1.
Scrat
wasn't
told
me.
me to roll.
Gnome rolled 2 6s. I wanted him to roll a third 6 because it was a religion roll.
Oh, okay. Cool. Instead, you rolled a nat 1. That's not foreboding at all. So you... What was that? Yeah, so you're able to piece together sort of like propped up against the remains of this abdomen, what looks like a clock, and you're able to sort of position the gears fine. And you can see 12 like perching right where the 12 number would be, just sort of watching you go. As you're looking to Moria, you actually, among the wreckage, kind of looking through the spider's head, you can see these kind of bits of stained glass, sort of kind of glittering and sparkling, and amid them you can see numbers, sort of numbers. You can see bits that look like they'd fit inside this face. And one in particular stands out. It's a piece of reddish stained glass that had been right behind the eyes, and sort of curled in ironwork is the number 9.
Okay, I'd like to pick it up and kind of see if I can fit it into the face.
It fits really perfectly, actually. Is anyone watching as Moria sort of takes this and sort of puts it in?
I would be. Since I'm assuming since I'm right there,
Yeah,
I probably
I'm
watch.
assuming. Yeah, it was more of, is anyone not paying attention?
I have a vested interest in fixing time. I'm paying all the attention.
Thank you, Gnome. I figured. So
No.
Sadie, I will need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh shit. I'm mediocre at that.
You are fine. Okay. This sort of, it does catch you off guard, but you don't fall. But there is, as this 9 sort of gets fit into place, you can hear 12 sort of and both you and Friday feel your watches glow. And as you look at them, their hand is spinning, and the dull side that was once, the dull piece of glass that was once that's sort of on that left side of the watch face suddenly flares that same sort of bright reddish color that is backing the 9 on the stained glass, and everyone sort of hears this loud sort of ringing sound. And you can feel the ground shake, and it starts to chime 9, and you can see as the courtyard sort of glows from underneath with this sort of shimmery mist, and you can see the buildings of the fair and the abandoned Ferris wheel sort of melt away. It's more almost as if the Ferris wheel sort of starts turning in time with like the gears of the clock, and it sort of shifts so that it's underneath you, and as it sort of spins, you can see where the carriages are, where the gondolas of the Ferris wheel are. You can see different like doorways pop up. and it just sort of spins and it sort of tick-tocks with the chiming of the clock.
Look, we fixed the time. It's working. I don't know what that is, but I heard a clock. So, Magic Land, Metal Bird, I want to go home.
Doorway, go.
Do I see a doorway?
There are many doorways.
Shit. Oh, shoot.
They're all like, they're not like closed doorways though. They're open, so you can actually look at them. What does your home look like?
He's kind of like a city. It's like an urban city with a lot of different types of population. It's not really like anything rural or anything. Very heavily populated, kind of grimy and like cobblestone streets. It was like a nice little medieval
As this sort
village.
of Ferris wheel like plaza sort of spinning beneath you, you can see one of the doorways sort of catch your eye. It is it's an alleyway. It's dark, it's grimy, there's definitely rats in there, but honestly it's the best thing you've ever seen right now at this point.
Yeah. I would probably immediately just be like, all right, well, this was not enjoyable at all. Hope you guys do well. And I would immediately just start running towards the doorway.
Yep, and you can run through and just book it into that alleyway, and man, the stink of like sewer and rat and dirt and like the noise of the city, it just
like
feels
home to
great
me.
now.
It's like home to me.
After being in a forest with spiders, man, are rats like, this is fine. I can deal with this.
I missed my rats.
Moria, where does your home look like? Or what does your home look like?
So my home is a deep forest, kind of at the base of this tall mountain that has snow on the top of it, and it's not like a dark, scary forest, but it's very light, and sunbeams kind of come through the tree canopy, and it's just very bright, and you can see kind of creatures roaming around, and it's just very full of life.
Yeah, so you see as Gilbert just books it, as you kind of follow, your eyes follow, you can see one of the adjacent sort of portals / doorway. It has that same autumnal glow. You can see the light, you can smell the fresh, like that smell of like dead leaves mixed with like water, that sort of warm like petrichor smell, and you can almost feel the sunlight from there. And after, you didn't notice how cold and dreary and damp the forest you had just been in was, but as you sort of look at that doorway and you feel that warmth of that sunshine, you're like, you remember how warm and comforting that feels. It's there, it stays there. You don't have to immediately go if you don't want to, but there is that door.
Okay, I think I would probably turn to everyone and be like, farewell, and just kind of give a bow to each and every one of them before turning and solemnly walking through the door.
And you do.
Bow back.
And you walk through. You see, before you go, 12 just sort of looks at you and goes, Thank you for not pulling my wings.
You're welcome, small one.
And then does the bird equivalent of a salute, like I don't know how if birds can wave, but you know, it's 12's trying. 12's trying.
I'll give it another bow and then walk through the door.
12 then realizes, oh, I can bow, and then bows. As you walk through, 12 just sort of looks over, just settles next to you, and then looks over at, settles next to Friday, on Friday's shoulder, and looks at you. Do you still want to find the law?
We are the law.
We are not the law.
We are the law.
No, we are not.
We are the law. Wherever
You
we
are
go,
not the
law
queen.
goes.
You are not the queen, so you are not the law.
This is the thing. Even the queen is submitting to the law. Everyone.
Not this queen. Not this queen. Not this queen.
Well, that won't last for
the
very long.
sovereign. Do you want to find the sovereign?
I thought we had to fix time.
She is the one who broke it.
So if we fix time, she'll just break it again?
If you fix time, you get rid of bad sovereign. Bad sovereign. Bad sovereign. Fix time. Fix time because bad sovereign broke time.
So if we fix time, the bad sovereign is gone?
12 knots.
How do we know? Why don't you just break it again?
That is not how. That is not. And then you can see again that sort of jittering and breaking. 12 short circuits again.
Does your friend do this a lot?
The bird?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, what did I say?
The bad sovereign would be defeated if we change time. Save time.
That is and then it just sort of shuts off again.
I'm gonna wind it for like 30 minutes until it starts like, you know how wind-up things start making that clicking noise after a bit? I'm gonna wind it until I hear the clicking noise.
Actually, roll me before you do. Oh, I mean, you can do that, but also as you're doing that, roll me an investigation or perception.
Nothing escapes my gaze.
Okay, as you notice that when you shove the key into 12's neck and wind it up, there does seem to be somewhat of a correlation between like how long you wind it and how long 12 is able to speak, but you've begun to notice a pattern. Sometimes when you ask 12 certain questions, it doesn't matter how long you wind them, something shuts 12 off.
I mean, Sadie, do you know much about ornithological veterinariation?
I had a dog.
From the past tense of that statement, going to take that as a no.
Have you finished winding 12 at this point?
Once it starts clicking, yeah.
Kid 12 is definitely clicking.
I will stop winding.
Ow. Okay, I'm here.
You know how like wind-up toys move extra fast when you wind them a lot? Just like, ah!
Do you want to meet the sovereign?
If the sovereign is bad, why would we want to meet them?
Fix time. So sovereign broke time. So fix time. Meet
But do we
sovereign.
need-
Fix time.
So we fix the time. And we don't meet sovereign.
So do we want to meet time? No, not meet time. Oh my goodness. Do we want to meet the sovereign? Is that part of fixing time?
You said you wanted to meet law. You wanted law. Sovereign is law. Sovereign is bad, but sovereign is law. You can meet sovereign, or we can fix time, or both.
Inherently, the sovereigns aren't law necessarily. They have the ability to change law, but only after a certain number of checks and balances are met. One person can't be.
Halfway through the sentence, 12 gets up and flies away. Flies through one of the doors. Oh god! 12 just like... It's because you wound up 12 so much, they sort of launch off your arm and then immediately dip and then sort of pick themselves up and then like flap, and then like sort of soar through one of these doorways.
Do we get to go through one?
Well, let's try it.
How many doors are there?
There were 12, but then 2 of them went through and then closed behind them, so now there's 10?
Do any of them look particularly...
Roll me a perception.
Okay,
You sound so unhappy, Gnome. Okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
All right.
Freddie, roll me a perception as well.
Hey-ya! Nothing
Okay.
escapes my gaze.
So as you're sort of looking at all these doors, you can see a lot of them look different. One of them, there's like one that's sort of this sort of bluish color, like from like the inside of a cave, sort of lit with this bioluminescent moss or algae sort of growing on some of the stalactites. You see another that's just glittering city with like these white marble towers, these and silver spires reaching to the twilight sky. There's another door that sort of is just sort of crowded over with like these vibrant green trees. It's almost unnatural how green and flourishing this plants and this garden, as you can see through the doorway. You can see a bunch of this, but as you're watching and as it's slowly rotating beneath you, you can see as 12 sort of like soars through a doorway, they start spinning faster and faster and faster and faster. And Friday, you'll recognize this because it happened to you before. But each of the doorways sort of starts clouding over with this darkness. And you can see each of them start to like crumble and like turn to dust. And these images, as inside each of these doorways, it just starts to fade away as shadows suddenly start creeping around, moving with these jagged long fingers that look very similar to how long and unnatural the spider legs were. You can see some of them start to peel off the ground and sort of start crawling towards the two of you.
Oh no.
Just sort of slowly, and around the doorways you can see they start spinning faster and faster and faster and faster. And you can see the edges of your vision start to turn a very cloudy gray as these sort of long, spidery-like hands start to creep towards you and creep towards your feet.
Do we just jump through a door?
Yes?
Okay.
Why not, loves? Don't you want to stay and play?
Where are your parents? Do you know how dangerous it is out here in the Feywild?
Oh, darling, of course. I made it. So come on and play. Come on, it'll be fun. Join me for my little game.
I don't want a game. I want breakfast.
Then you better hurry, or the darkness is going to get you.
Let's go, Zadie. Don't give them too much attention. They seem to thrive on it.
Or don't or do whatever you want. I always find a way to win.
I'm not a fan of cheaters.
Don't play games with someone who invented them then. You'll always find you lose. And as that voice kind of says that, you feel the ground just sort of drop beneath you. And you see these spindly shadows wrap around your legs and yank you down. And very similar to what had happened to you previously, Friday, you feel yourself falling and falling and falling. And then you hit the ground? You hit the ground. There is ground here. It is sort of dark, overgrown dirt. Grass that looks that's like this inky black. And you sort of like pick your head up and you rub your eyes. And you see sort of on this, in a sort of a sign post in front of you, there's a fork in the road, and you can see sort of the sign sort of swinging in this gentle breeze. Property of Grandma 3, trespassers beware. And that is where we're going to end this episode of Downside Up.
Oh. I don't know who she is, but I already don't like Grandma 3. I don't know why, I got a bit of a DBD vibe from that at the end. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Alright, well everyone, thank you very much for joining us on this wild adventure through the Feywild. Before we go round and say goodbye to everyone, please check out our sponsor links. Hero Forge, all of your miniature needs. You can create your own custom miniatures. The Deck of Many, where you can get the deck of many things. Why couldn't I have drawn that one a minute ago? And also Humblewood, which you can find here on Thursdays at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And also Mage Hand Press, who created the Fey Folio that we are currently playing in. And also Dark Matter, which is now available in hardback at your local game store. Ask them to stock it, and if they use Diamond, then they should stock it. Let's go around and say goodbye to everyone. Let's tell us who you are, where we can find you online, and what your favourite part of today's show was. we'll go the opposite way around and start with Sarah Jane.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much this was awesome. You can find me on Twitter at SJATKIN1.
Oh yeah, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part was fighting the spiders. That was pretty fun.
Yay! It was so I love clutch combat moves, and you calling that lightning down and absolutely like obliterating those two spiders was so good.
So good.
It was so good.
Perfect.
It was so awesome. Well, thank you so
spell
much.
use.
I was so wonderful playing with you, and I hope to see you around the academy again soon. Next round we'll go to in what 1 2 3. Paul, in what 1 2 3?
Yes. Yes.
Hi.
Yes. Me. Hi. Hello. Hi. I am in what 1 2 3. You can find me at in what 1 2 3 on Twitter. Had a blast. Super fun. First time ever going to the Feywild or anything like this. So it was a really awesome experience. My favorite part was definitely, hands down, the sneezing death attack. So I that has to take it for me.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then also me checking out 12's wings. So thank you for
12
that.
is steadily becoming one of my favorite NPCs ever.
I love 12. Absolutely.
I love them. They are,
But
they
thank
are my
you.
baby, my bird baby.
Thank you so much for
Thank
inviting
you
me,
so
and
much for
I had a lot of
playing.
fun.
I
Really awesome.
love the Alchemix class, and I love being able to see what it can do and how people play it. And I loved your description of the fart cloud.
Thank
The
you.
1/3
Oh,
of a butt.
if it's I'll show you guys in the Zoom, but one of my friends actually drew the description that I made with the fart butt bomb.
Oh God. Okay.
So now I might have to do something with that. But yeah,
It's beautiful. Okay, I can't wait to
yeah,
look at it.
he just
I'm
had fun
putting
with
that,
it.
I'm putting that in chat right now.
Do
It's
it. Okay.
perfect. It's
Yeah,
bloody perfect.
Yeah, one of my friends
God.
did it, and he's like, he sent it to me. He's like, I couldn't resist. I'm like,
Oh my God,
Thank
it's
you.
so good. Oh, the quarter turn butt. It's lovely.
He got it. The angles, the 3 clouds.
Mhm,
Oh,
that's
it's-
definitely
But
a
yeah,
poop.
again, thank
He
you.
did
I had
it.
an absolute blast. Thank you so much.
All right. And then let's go up to Gnome or Joey at Nomadic. Plays Sadie, our lovely sneezing child, elderly child.
Gonna need a handkerchief of +1 or something in the near future. But no, thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. And seriously, the call lightning I thought was fantastic. So Sarah doing awesome move on that. And it worked, which was just bamf. And then the fart bomb. That's just great. Those are my favorite moments.
This was so much fun. Oh my God. Yeah. And then what was your favorite part?
My favorite part, I accidentally apologized for one of my actions, despite declaring at the beginning that I would not apologize. So it wasn't the fact that I started combat without really communicating to anyone. It was everyone's reaction to that, which was kind of stunned silence for a few minutes, which was... Whoops.
It just happened so fast. You were like, I run forward harmlessly, then I throw another javelin, bonus action rage. Ah! I believe that was a direct quote.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think my favorite part was definitely having the spiders sort of stalk you through the forests and getting to do the clicking voices. That was really fun. I've been wanting to break out the clicking, so I had a lot of fun, and especially when you were looking at that rock and then it just sort of shifted and it moved and became a spider. That was super fun for me because that's not something I usually
Nightmare
get to
fuel,
do
yay!
as a DM, so that was really fun. So thank you for letting me entertain my creepy DM fantasies. But yeah, I'm Mackenzie Lane Dia on Twitter. I was your dungeon master for today. I'm an independent TTRPG content creator, so you can check out my work on Twitter. That's mostly where I yell about stuff. I will be on some other streams, but they haven't technically been announced yet, so I can't talk about them, but they will be on my Twitter. I also have a poll going up on my Twitter right now, which is basically I might start streaming myself, just doing solo streams. They might be like TTRPG content creation, they might be art, they might be video games, I'm not sure. I don't really have class anymore though, so I need something to fill my time. So if you liked me and if you want to see a little bit in my creative thought process, go and pop a vote on that poll, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you so much. I always love being in the DM seat, and I love getting to play in the Feywild, and I can't wait for y'all to meet Grandma 3 next week.
Well, everyone, that about concludes the episode today. Do check out our social links as well. We are going to take a half-an-hour break, and then we will be returning with another guest game as Alice, Hans, and Captain Faye will be introducing 2 new players to the world of Eberron in Shards of Cerberus at 9:30, or just over. It's probably more like 40 minutes, actually, because of times. Literally just gives us enough time to set up the accessibility tools, the safety tool, and all of the things. Hope to see you in chat with you in about half an hour. Until next time, keep on evoking emotions. We'll see you later. Bye!
Bye!